Alright guys, so these just showed up very recently, a couple days ago. I got them on a great deal, and I'm gonna show you right away what it is. As you can see, standard pump it up throwback box, throwback back in the day. They kind of looked similar, not as much, but still, nevertheless. As you can see, it's the Pump AXT in the white, black, and echo blue. Now I'm not entirely sure if this colorway was exactly the same name back in the day, but it's definitely a the combination is an original one. And let me pull them out and show it to you and talk to you a little bit about the history of this model and all that. I'll take the box out of the way so it won't clutter my desk. But here they are. Most of you that are familiar with Reebok releases, you guys know that these and the other original colorway, the one with the green around, was released somewhere around the end of the last year, I believe. So they have on Reebok.com, a few other sites. Unfortunately, I waited up a little bit, then they disappeared from Reebok.com. So I was like, you know, that's not a big deal. I mean, I like the model, but not that much anyway. So finally they showed up on a few other sites on a super discount, and I think I grabbed those from Onassis for $40 shipped. So couldn't pass. You know, I wanted to see what they did with these and this last release. And you know, those of you that are familiar with the model know that all the changes that were made. Now, back in the day when this AXT came out, that's the first generation of the AXT, and it came in 1990. The model was cross-training was such a big deal back in the day. In fact, after the basketball models, I think cross-training was the second best selling models. Nike sort of pioneered this cross-training hype, and of course Reebok jumped on it and released a lot of good models back in the day. So 1990, Hexalite just came out. They had a lot of cross-training models. This one came out as well. At that time, this shoe was featuring Hexalite only in the forefoot, as you can see here, and Reebok kind of upgraded it with the newer releases. These have been released a few times since 2007, by the way, and they put Hexalite in the heel as well. It was one of the things back in the day we were always wondering why the AXT had only the forefoot. My all-time favorite cross-train. So I was saying the this first the AXT Plus was my is my all-time favorite cross-trainer, and also featured only Hexalite on the forefoot. Even with the latest releases, they kept that and never put a Hexalite on the heel. But with these, for whatever reason, they decided to upgrade it, which is great, actually. One thing I wanted to say, back in the day, these were entirely made of thick, full-grain leather. I mean, companies were not making any excuses or anything to cut down the cost back in the day. So these were premium materials, and unfortunately, as you know, today is a different story. This shoe is almost entirely made of synthetic leather. The only portion, I think it's a real and very thin cut full grain leather, is the toe box right here. Around the paneling in the back, it's all synthetic leather. Unfortunately, that's how it is these days. And I'm noticing this kind of trend with Reebok as well. In the latest releases, a lot of shoes that were made great back in the day with a great quality, they're now skimped, and they're put on the bad treatment of not such a great quality leathers and all that. But I guess we just can't escape that from any brand these days. One thing that a lot of people have been irritated by, and myself as well is the reusage of this pump chamber ton with the basketball pump instead of the original cross-training pump, which many of you know was didn't have this basketball texturing. It was absolutely flat, not flat but smooth, and only the pump was on it. So this is a total reuse of the basketball models. At least they kept the stitching, Reebok, and cross-training on the tongue. That tongue, by the way, was a lot higher back in the day, so it kind of sticked out, and sort of when you lace them even all the way up, the Reebok and the cross-training was above the last lace loop, which now is kind of on the same level or below. Yeah, probably one more thing to, you know, lower down the cost, make that smaller. And the tongue itself, I mean, look at it. It's so tiny and small compared to even a few years ago releases of some of the models. It's so thin now. It's just amazing. They almost don't use any materials. Production date is June of 2014. The padding around the heel is significant in my opinion. As you can see, the insole is pretty nice with the pump right there. Kind of has a feeling of Ortholite. I'm not entirely sure because it's not advertised anywhere on the labels. As you can see, just, you know, the normal Hexolite and the new pump hang tags, no Ortholite, but the material looks like Ortholite, although it's not blue, so I can't really say if it is or not. You can see the leather here, how it creases. Definitely full grain leather on the toe. Like I said, thinner cut, unfortunately, but it is what it is, and all that. It's synthetic. This model back in the day had many versions. Actually, I had a version with same height, which is mid, minus the pump. Also had a lower version, again without the pump. This particular version, you know, what I said, all the extras in the pump and the Hexolite was a little bit higher, and kind of this section looked a little bit different, but overall the shape is almost the same. These soft plastic straps on both sides right here that provide you know, better fit when you lace them, and they're kind of cup your foot inside, were one of the Reebok inventions, sort of, so to speak. They implement them in a lot of models, a lot of running models as well, cross trainers. Saying cross trainers, I mean, this AXT back in the day was, even the box name was different. It was called Fitness Pump AXT. Was largely advertised as a fitness model or even aerobics model, since aerobics was still very popular at the end of the 80s and early 90s. One thing to mention on the fit in these, lengthwise they fit me perfectly well, but they're kind of narrow, so actually you can see how narrow it is, this section here. So it will take a little bit of breaking time to make them a little bit more comfortable when you wear them. If you're a white footer, definitely go half a size up. That's my advice. One other thing is, I don't know, with a lot of new releases, latest retros from Reebok, this section here, it's very uncomfortable for me for some reason. If you, I don't know how to explain it. Back in the day, the natural progression between the toe box and the ton, where kind of on the top of your foot it was more natural, kind of a, you know, straight line, and now we have this angle breaking right here, kind of like when they use less material, and instead of, you know, having this effect with a little bit more room here, it sits a little bit lower, so when you put your foot, this kind of presses against your foot, so it's not very comfortable. But again, when you wear them a lot, if you suffer through the pain a couple times, it's going to loose a little bit, but still I believe that it's just not very well engineered retro. If they should have leave a little bit more space right here. As you can see in the heel, we have Reebok as back in the old days, and you know, the outsole mimics a lot of the hexalite pattern, which was a big deal back in the day, so that's why they have those outsoles mimicking the hexalite. And this section I really liked always. Those groovings right here, they're super grippy. If you put them on feet, that's why a lot of people would actually use them as a basketball shoe back in the day. They have pretty good traction. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? $40. I don't feel bad. They released for $130. I wouldn't have never paid $130. I knew that the quality is not going to be there, especially with the changes. I definitely cannot see myself paying this kind of money. And my advice it is, no matter how much I actually love Reebok, I would not advise anybody to drop $130 for these. Aim for anything under $50 if you really like the model. Unfortunately, you know, I love all the cross trainers. I love the AXT, you know, all the other models that were never released. But you know, with this kind of treatment, lower quality, fit problems, I just can't advise anybody to grab them for more than you know, $50, like I said. But that's pretty much it, guys. You know, it is what it is. Again, $40. It's not bad of a deal, but could have been better. At least as the shoe quality. Regardless, both pumps actually working. Like I said in many videos before, they don't work the same as some of my original models and vintage models. I guess Reebok's, you know, they outsourced the pump chambers to a company that it's not doing such a great job like back in the old days, but you know, at least they function, not like some other models. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't remember anything else to mention about it, but if I do, I'll mention in some of later videos. I have a few more pairs to come and show it to you guys real soon. So stay tuned to the channel, stay tuned to CollectiveKicks.com for more sneaker news, reviews, and history articles. And until next time, guys, you have a wonderful day.